Come now. You have to do better than that. You're playing chess with a goddess. You really need to think if you want to win. Here, I'll let you redo that move. Try something a little more clever, won't you? It's not a trick. Look, I would have been able to capture you if that move had counted. You need to keep in mind that this isn't normal chess. You're playing as one of the pieces, so you need to protect the king and yourself. Bold choice choosing the knight, by the way. The safest option would have been to just take the place of your king. But I appreciate that you didn't go the boring route. Yes, I do tend to make it hard on you when you make things boring, don't I? But that's your job, after all. To keep me entertained. Well, I'm sorry if you don't like chess. But sometimes I want to engage in something mentally stimulating. And besides, it's at least better than that little gladiator ring I set up for you, isn't it? I suppose we could just have you fight another monster, if that's what you really want. Come now, that's hardly fair. I meant it when I said my temple was a paradise. Would you really rather everything just be boring and safe all the time? Just think of it as earning your keep. It must be better than living in your little village where that drought is still happening. You never run out of food or drink here. Now, redo your move. And really think a few steps ahead. You'll be grateful you got the chance. Don't you want to win your little prize? Better, but still not great. No more queen. You've been far too aggressive with it the whole game. Oh, please. Such a little tantrum. I know mortals can be spoiled sometimes, but surely you're above that. If you don't want to lose your pieces, then play better. Oh? Then what is this about? What's the matter with the prize? Do you not want all these sweets? The pile is practically the size of a mountain for you. And these are divine sweets, my little toy. You're not going to get a stomachache from eating too many. We've already been over this, silly thing. I'm not going to just make saving your village the reward for winning. That would cost me too much if I were to lose. Now that's just sad. You think you're going to goad me into it. Well, as it happens, yes, I am afraid of losing to you. I'm specifically choosing games that you have a chance of winning, because what would be the point otherwise? If the stakes were going to be that high, I'd choose something practically impossible for you to win, like a race. I told you from the beginning that it wouldn't be easy to convince me to let the rain clouds return. I'm not about to relinquish all the power I gained from constant clear skies just for you, even though I do find you delightful. I know, life is just so unfair, isn't it? But don't let this stop you from trying. I do so enjoy your little pleas for aid. You're adorable when you're desperate. Perhaps, if you prove that you can make a game really interesting, I'll decide to offer up my help as a prize. You'll have to prove that you're clever for that, though. It's your move again. Impress me. Come on. No dawdling. You're not going to get anywhere just begging me for help. Do you have any idea how often mortals ask me for favors? Stars are associated with fate. So I'm constantly being asked to line people up with their soulmate or save them from a terminal illness. I'm tired of it. At this point, it's all falling on deaf ears. Go ahead, make your move. And do make it count, won't you? I'd hate to. And that was the wrong move. Checkmate. No, there's not much point in a do-over. You were very close to losing no matter what you did. Looks like the sweets are all mine. It was an interesting game, though, in its own way. I certainly learned a bit about you from it. Mostly that you have some kind of inferiority complex. You clearly do not like being around me because I have so much power over you. The way you played told me everything I needed to know. You played very aggressively, which is unusual for a novice. You tried very hard to project strength through every move. You want to feel like you're not hopelessly inferior to me. Quite interesting. Of course, it was also the reason you lost. It's not the best strategy to constantly be on the offensive. If you're always trying to show your strength, then your opponent will always be on guard. You need to let them become confident and underestimate you. Well, let's hope that you learn from this next time. Though I'm not sure if I really want to go through all the trouble of training you to be a proper player. Maybe we should just go for an easier game. You speak as if you have a choice. If you wanted to be free to make your own choices, then you shouldn't have trespassed into the land of the gods. You're really not good at adapting to new situations, are you? Quite a shame, seeing that you would be so much happier if you would just accept your new lot in life. Just forget about the village. What do you really even owe them anyway? You're the favored plaything of a goddess now. You're not obligated to do anything for them. Mortals live such short lives anyway. They would all be dead before long, no matter what you did. Someday, you'll learn to indulge yourself more. I'm telling you, it's a much better way to live. You should be worrying about yourself before anyone else. Oh, I used to be a little bit like you. So altruistic and caring about the needs of strangers. But eventually, you come to realize that whenever you give something of yourself to others, they only return part of it. Pretty soon, there's nothing left of you. Fine then. Be stubborn. You'll wish you'd listened to me one day, though. Well, if you're not going to relax and actually enjoy yourself, then what do you plan to do? How do you propose to convince me to willingly give up my advantage over the cloud god? Interesting. Turning my words against me, are you? It's not the same situation, though. I don't have nearly as much to worry about by holding an advantage over my rival. You only need to pretend to be weak when you're up against a powerful opponent. He's no threat to me like this. That's not a terrible point. He could always seek help if he feels he truly needs it, the same way I sought help from the sun god. So what are you saying? That it would be better to let him think that he can manage to beat me on his own to prevent him from gathering allies? And of course, to do that, I would need to pretend that I'm slipping, allowing some clouds to return to the sky. Well played. Very clever. Don't get me wrong. The idea has holes in it. but I'm impressed you were able to twist my words around all the same. It's worth a little bit of thought, at the very least. The really tricky part about this is that I'm not working alone. I had the sun god on my side, remember? The question is, what would he think of it? He's much harder to read than you would expect. I'll commit to talking with him about it, though. And in the meantime, you've earned a reward. Oh yes, of course. Above all else, I want you to entertain me. And that little speech was nothing if not amusing. I do hope you can surprise me like that again. As for your reward, well, let's say that you can have those sweets, even though you lost to me. Perhaps it was a bit unfair to play for stakes when you're so unpracticed anyway. Clearly, your loss wasn't due to a lack of intelligence. Now, I'll leave you to enjoy those while I get to work. I have an idea to make the stars really glimmer tonight. Oh, it will be spectacular. Oh, take heart, little mortal. Even if your village won't be getting rain just yet, I'm sure the display tonight will distract them from their troubles. Consider it a part of your reward, if you'd like. Good night, mortal. I hope you enjoy the show.